exams no na enhye da nya de but you try your best yet me try bibia ye kama and thanks to the invigilators almost so boy the entimi obi so mo so ka
so your police ni we soldier ni ye smart kwachi obi kwachi an roba na usia me na onyi tuadu ni sika dura me ntra me ni sa mekum.
Few moments later.
You Ghana paying for already Silama. Let me try context.
It sometimes feels like human beings are the ones who actively search for trouble. They invite it and then act surprised when it finally arrives. Every generation has had its own version of this. But what is happening now on social media platforms make it more visible, faster, and more dangerous. More dangerous than ever before. Every month, we see similar patterns repeat themselves online. A person picks up a phone, records a video, and then posts it with the intention of gaining attention, going viral, or entertaining an audience. In many of these cases, what is being said or done in the video is not grounded in real-life consequences. It is often exaggerated, emotional, provocative, or even threatening. At first, it may appear like harmless content or internet humor, something meant to spark reactions or trends. But what many people fail to understand is that the moment something enters the public space, it stops being private expression. It becomes public record. That is what my youth these days fail to understand. It becomes public record. This is where the first important lesson begins to reveal itself. Intent does not erase impact. A person may claim they were joking, creating content, or simply trying to trend. But the internet does not process intention. It processes words, actions, and perceived meaning. Once something is posted, my brothers and sisters, it is no longer controlled by the creator. It is interpreted by strangers, shared by audiences, and sometimes escalated by authorities. In countries like Ghana and across many parts of the world, law enforcement agencies have increasingly taken online content seriously, especially when it involves threats, violence, or statements that can disrupt public order. The reality is simple. The system does not wait to confirm whether something was a joke before responding to what appears to be a threat. Once you put your content out there, to you it may be content just wanting to trend or go viral. But to the authorities, it could be seen as a threat, you see. So once you put something out there, think about what goes around. In earlier times, words might have taken longer to spread and consequences might have been delayed. But today, trust me, a single video can travel across platforms within minutes, been screenshotted, reposted, analyzed, and reported before the creator even realizes the scale of what they have released. There have been cases where individuals post videos that include warnings, threats, or dramatic statements directed at security personnel or the public. Sometimes these individuals believe they are building persona or creating viral entertainment. As it's rather unfortunate that once the video gains traction, it no longer belongs to them. It becomes evidence in the eyes of institutions responsible for maintaining order. You see, in one such case, a young man posted a video online while masked, speaking in a tone that suggested resistance and issuing statements that were interpreted as threats towards security personnel. And it's fun. In his mind, it may have been content designed for attention, something dramatic to capture engagement. However, the moment that guy removed his mask at the end of the video, the single action transformed everything. What may have been intended as performance became identification. What may have been seen as entertainment by some viewers became a potential security concern for authorities. Within a short time, the situation escalated far beyond social media. The video went viral. It circulated widely. People began to discuss it seriously. And, for the law enforcement agencies, don't spare you. They became involved and they apprehended this young man. So, my brothers and sisters, the internet does not separate viral from serious. In the online world, everything is flattened into one space where humor, threat, entertainment, and evidence can all exist in the same frame. You see, a person may believe they are performing for attention, but trust me, institutions interpret risk differently from audiences. When something appears to challenge safety, order, or authority, it is no longer treated as content, but as a matter requiring a response. In the case of this young man, now if you have not watched the video, I know most people have already watched it, but I'll still drop it. In the case of this young man, what started as a bid for virality eventually led to official action. He later released another video apologizing, explaining that it was just content creation and not meant to be taken seriously. But by then, the process had already moved beyond his control. The apology did not reverse the interpretation of the initial act, nor did it stop the consequences that had already been triggered. You see, this pattern highlights a deeper issue affecting many young people today, particularly in the age of social media culture. There is a growing pressure to be seen, to trend, to gain validation through attention, which does not take us anywhere. Virality has become a form of currency. And the pursuit of that currency, many people cross boundaries they would never normally cross in real life. I mean, the danger is that online performance often removes the natural fear of consequence that exists in a physical interaction. Behind the screen, it becomes easier to exaggerate. It becomes easier to, provoke or dramatize behavior without immediately feeling the weight of its implications. However, reality eventually catches up. What is posted online does not remain trapped in the digital world. It spills into real life. It is interpreted by real people, acted upon by real systems, and judged through real world consequences. This is why many of these incidents end in regret. The desire to go viral fades quickly, but the outcomes can last far longer than the moment of attention that caused them. What is happening today is not just a problem of content creation, but it's a reflection of a deeper moral challenge. It is a challenge of understanding responsibility in a connected world. It is a challenge of knowing when expression becomes recklessness, when humor becomes threat, and when performance becomes liability. It is also a reminder that freedom of expression does not remove accountability for expression. It is becoming too much seeking validation through virality. In the end, human beings do not truly hate peace or stability. Most people want to live without trouble. Most people want safety, dignity, and respect. But in the digital age, attention often competes with wisdom, and visibility sometimes competes with caution. And when attention wins over wisdom, trouble is never far behind. The lesson is simple but very powerful. Not everything that can be posted should be posted. Not everything that trend is harmless. And not everything meant as content will remain content once it enters the public space. Because once the internet picks it up, the world begins to respond. And the world does not always interpret things the way we intended them to be seen. So before you pick a camera, before you set up a camera on your ring light and spew out threats or insult someone, remember, once it gets out there, it is no longer yours. It becomes a public content. And when it is directed towards security agencies, on a more serious note, the law will deal with you. This is David 360. Human beings are often their own worst enemies. Until I come your way again, have a great day.